and welcome. Orange, of course. Welcome. My name's Steve Beckles-Abussier, the speaker with the orange tie. And guys, welcome to the Orange Room. Guys, I hope you're well. Those that don't know anything about me, I'm a motivational speaker. I go to schools, colleges and universities around UK, Europe and in the States. I talk about belief systems because belief systems for me drive everything. Those that don't know about these, I've been doing a series of these now for months. And the idea is really just to get people not just to get through this situation but to get from it. Now, it's been an amazing week regarding kind of events which have occurred, and by my strapline it's really important by what's gone on to talk about what I'd like to cover today. So if you look at my strapline, guys, you'll notice look, I'm wearing the tape, guys. I've got on here the tape measure never lies. Weight is not lost in the gym, but it's lost in the kitchen. Now is the time for a change. Love the dramatic stuff here. Now, I'm talking about weight loss. And this kind of came about with Ken Barnes. Big up Ken Barnes. I'll talk about him later on. But we were talking about weight loss. And on his show on Monday night, it's his first one. Well done, Ken. And it was great. Really enjoyed it. And we just spoke about habits and how people are, eating and putting on weight and all the rest of it, and how people can lose weight and, techniques and stuff like that. Now, it's more prevalent now than ever because of obviously what's happened with the lockdown and all the rest of it. So I thought to myself, this Friday, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be giving you some tips and techniques using the word change, C.H.A.N.G.E, and give you 6 techniques, 6 principles. That's really important. Principles. So an idea is kind of things to follow that I believe will help you to lose weight. So guys, let's get this show on the road. First of all, I want to start off by saying this. I don't know if this ever happened to you. This happened to me this morning. I was listening to some music, so I was doing my exercise, and the track got to the end and the advert came on. Now, I didn't have time to skip it because I was doing something else. And what happened? Another advert kicked in. Now, you might be thinking, so what? But it had me realizing that in life, we've got to be able to skip what we don't want. So what I'm saying, I don't know if it's ever happened to anyone else. If I would have just left the phone playing, okay, I think it would have just had ads and ads and ads, because I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but I think that's what's happening now. So if you don't skip it, I think it just goes to another ad. And it had me thinking about that metaphor, that I think we have to skip in life things we don't want. So I really want us to think hard about this. So let's get going, guys. We're going to take the word change, right? And how we can implement the word change using each of those letters to hopefully make a difference when it comes to weight loss. Now, the biggest thing is, when I was on Ken's show, I said, listen, when you want to lose weight, what you must find out, first of all, with C, check your why. Let me explain. If you have not got a big enough why to lose weight, you won't. Let me say it again. If you have not got a big enough why to lose weight, you won't. I think it was Les Brown. I've been reading a lot of Les Brown this week. And Les Brown says, when your why is big enough, your how doesn't matter. Because your why is so big, it's like, I'm just going to do it. And in the back of your mind, you might be saying, how? It doesn't matter. Because if your why is big enough, the how, it's not an issue. It will get done. So this is one of the first things I said on Ken's show. I said, look, you have to establish what your why is. Why do you want to lose weight? Now, you might say, well, I want to be able to fit into my outfit or my trousers. That's fair enough. However, me personally, I'd go for a bigger why. How many times have you heard stories where people need to lose weight or they're going to die? Now, that's a big why. Does that make sense? And all of a sudden, people have lost weight. Yeah, and I'm not wanting that to happen to you as the reason why you lose weight, but does that make sense? You have to make that why really, really big. So it could be, and I think Ken said something on his show about being able to run and play with his grandkids when they come along, if they come along. Likewise myself, to keep up with my daughter. I mean, that in itself is a feat. Do you see what I mean? Your why has to be really big. If your why is level or less than your how, I think you're always going to put on weight. Now, the biggest challenge is, and obviously this week has been a horrendous week. I was talking to my friend the other week and she was saying 6 months, Steve, 6 months until this thing supposedly ends. And I love my salsa. This girl's passionate into her salsa. And I said to her, look, yes, I get that. It is 6 months. However, if you want to lose that weight, you have to find the why. Why would you want to lose the weight? So we spoke about health. We spoke about just want to feel good about herself. She says she wants to start new projects, but she doesn't feel like it a lot of the time. A lot of the time is because you just feel a bit like that. So perhaps losing the weight will give you the, do you know what? I want to do this. And then maybe start your project, start your online business, whatever. So find that why. All right? Because I personally believe, I love doing this, but if you don't find your why to lose weight and it's not big enough, I just think it's always going to be a challenge because the why is never going to be enough to push you, okay? So that's the first thing. C, check your why. Second thing, the H. Have some bowls in the house. This is really good. I've got my props, you know I like my props. Now, I've kind of done the whole health thing and I'm kind of at the weight I'm at, but I'd perhaps like to lose maybe 3 or 4 pounds, right? So I'm in this stage at the moment of just trying to lose weight. So what I was doing, I was eating muesli. Now muesli is healthy, isn't it? Of course. And so this will be my muesli bowl, yeah? But the thing is, I'd put like half a ton of muesli, I exaggerate, but a lot of muesli in here and I'd be eating that on a regular basis. I wasn't losing weight. So what I then decided to do is get a smaller bowl. Yeah, and I read this years ago. And so I wasn't putting as much muesli, obviously, in the bowl. And I actually started to realize that what I was putting in here, in this size bowl, was enough. Why? Because I think mentally, I was thinking that was it. But do you know what? I went one stage further. Hey, check this out. Look at this. This is the bowl I use for breakfast each morning. Now compare this to this. Yeah, it just speaks for itself. Now I have enough in here and I'm fine. I'm fine, and I don't probably eat till about 1 o'clock or whatever. So this is a very physical thing, isn't it? And that's why I call them principles, because these are things you can apply. Just simply reducing the size of what you're eating your food on. This applies to your plates as well. Just get smaller plates. Give it a try. I mean, it's remarkable because your brain, we adjust. I remember when the lockdown first kicked in and people were complaining about queuing up outside the stores and all the way. People are queuing up outside the stores like it's no big deal now. Listen, we are animals that can adjust. And we do adjust. And it's very important we do. Okay, so that is the H. The next one is the A. Arrange your environment. Now, what I mean by that is start planning what you eat the next day. You know how many times you heard me say about when you set goals? Set the goals before the day starts. So, in other words, set your goal today to what you want to do tomorrow. If you want to lose weight, this is just my opinion, start planning what you're going to be eating tomorrow. Now, some of you, if you do that, that's great. But if you don't, and I think as Les Brown said this, it's brilliant. Negative things are seen when you're not focused on your goal. If tomorrow you haven't planned about what you're going to eat, you'll start picking. And I know that confidently. Why? Because that's what I would do. Yeah. But if I know I've got this to eat, I'm eating this to eat, this, and you've planned what you've going to eat the day before, all of a sudden you've got this structure going on, and you're not drifting so much. Okay, so environment's important. Also, the bowls come in really handy. Obviously I'm orange, but I'll have loads of these around the flat. Yeah, loads of them. Grapes and bananas. And so, you know, sometimes you want to pick, especially by the door. Just before I go out, I'd have them just by the door. And literally, I would pick up one before I go out. Can you see how habitual this can be? And it then becomes a habit over a period of time. It becomes the norm. Yeah. Ken says something about sugar, which is brilliant stuff. It's brilliant stuff. Reducing the amount of sugar you eat. Oh my goodness, it's just ridiculous. I've just stopped putting sugar in my tea, and I've felt better. I've just felt better just by not putting sugar in my tea. So simple thing, because we're eating a lot of sugar anyway, you know, in beans, spaghetti, and that kind of stuff. So just reducing it out of your tea, honestly, it's life-changing. Really, really works really well. Okay, so let's move on to the N. Now is the only time you've got. So live in it. And what I mean by that is discipline your disappointments. That's a Jim Rohn quote. Discipline your disappointments. There is going to be a time where you will set a goal to lose a certain amount of weight, you'll get on that scale and that scale will give you a hard time. And in fact, you sometimes put weight on and you're thinking, what the? But what you need to do is just discipline it. Just say, do you know what? I have been eating well. I have been eating well. I'm not going to let this get to me. And I'm just going to keep my focus. What's that saying? When when fear enters the frame, logic leaves. Let me say it again. When fear enters the frame, logic. When you're fearful, think, oh God, I might as well get. You lose all logic. And you said, right, I might as well eat chocolate or whatever. No, what do you eat chocolate for? You've been eating well. All right, you've perhaps on the scale at a point where maybe you've drunk water or whatever, and it's higher than what you should, but just discipline your disappointment. You should have lost more, you didn't. Move on. Do not get stuck there, because I've been there as well, where I'm kind of, I forget, I might as well get a burger now. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay, so discipline your disappointments. Live in the now. It's happened. Let's move on. The next one is go one step at a time. Now, this is what I've got. Here we go. Yeah, this is proof. I don't mess about with this kind of stuff. Now, I am about 16'4", all right? And I want to be, by the end of the month, 16 stones, okay? So 4 pounds, that's all I need to lose. How difficult is that? Damn difficult. However, what I do is I monitor each of my days, okay? So I get up in the morning, and what I'll do, for example, if I have a good food day, we've got to call it a GFD day, I'll put a little tick. So in other words, I've eaten well that day. This is really important for loads of reasons, because it's an indication, A, that you're taking things seriously, but also you can map how you are. And I've put ahead, like I'll put here on the 15th, 16.3, on the 22nd, 16.2, on the 29th, 16.1. Reasonable goals. I'm still struggling, but they're reasonable goals. Does that make sense? So what it does, it helps me to focus one step at a time. And don't let things kind of get over too much to you. Just go back to your graph and just use that as a guide. Now, Ken does something which I think is brilliant. He said we all have that urge for chocolate, those that are into chocolate or whatever. Yeah. So what he says, look, if you want that bar of chocolate, go and buy the bar of chocolate, but don't eat it all. Buy the chocolate, but don't eat it all. So what he says is leave a little bit, okay, and throw that bit away, right? Which is great stuff. The next time you have an urge, he says, go and get a bar of chocolate, but leave more behind. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you do it maybe 2 or 3 before you get to the point where you buy a bar of chocolate, you just eat one piece and you throw the whole thing away, which sounds crazy. But I really get what Ken's saying, because what you're doing, you're conditioning yourself. It's like weeding yourself off of drugs or something. Do you see what I mean? It's a slow process. So please try that as an approach. It's really, really good. The last one, guys, is E. And it's engage with people that are there to support you. Let me explain. You, I think, personally need to be around people that are either into losing weight and have lost weight so they can give you experience, or people that do it professionally, which does lead me on to Ken Barnes, the lean mind body coach. Right? You can Google him. It's brilliant stuff what he's doing. But does that make sense? Those two type of people need to be in your environment. People that have lost weight and know what it's all about, or people that have done it and do it professionally as a business. Why is that? It's because your environment will determine what you gain in life. I guarantee that. Your environment will determine what you gain. If you're hanging around someone a lot in your environment that's constantly saying, what are you bothering with the diet? You're not going to lose any weight. No, what are you bothering for? You're going to struggle. Yeah? Because eventually it will chip away at you. So what you have to be able to prepare to say is make your own environment, so it's your environment, so you're safe in that environment. Now, a friend was saying to me the other day, she said, Steve, I'm always eating crisps or whatever, and I gave her the same advice that Ken said. I said, look, all right, you always eat half the pack of crisps and then throw the rest away. The next time you get an urge, eat maybe, I don't know, 10 crisps and throw the pack away. Don't resist what your drive and passion is, because it's going to eat you up. But what I will say is to try to get yourself in that rhythm of saying, do you know what? I'm actually moving away from this and I don't need it anymore. That was change. Guys, let's do a quick recap just so everyone is aware of what change is all about. First of all is C. Find your why. Check your why. Get a sheet of paper, write down the reasons why you would like to lose weight. All right? And if it is to get into that dress size or that trouser size, explain how you would like to feel once you've done that. How would you feel? We're very emotional creatures. I think it was Dr. Antonio Damasio says we are feeling creatures that think. Yeah, when we go to buy something, we often have emotions in buying it rather than actually buying the item. So we're very feeling creatures. So I want you to attach that emotion to why you want to lose weight. Okay, next one is have those bowls. Guys, get the bowls out. Get the bowls out. Get the bowls out. Make them small. Get them small. So if you've got a bowl like this and you still want to lose weight, get smaller ones. Why not? Start reducing. And it's got to be a habit. So like I said, I normally eat from this now. It's no big deal. Whereas, like I said earlier, before lockdown, that was my normal bowl. Can you imagine how much muesli I put in there? And there's me thinking I'm being all healthy. All right, very important. Arrange your environment. News is another thing, I didn't mention it earlier. I was just on my phone recently, just 5-10 minutes ago. Pop-up comes in telling me there's a lockdown in Wales. Now, I'm not saying that's not important, don't get it wrong, but can you see? I mean, I forgot to put it on flight mode because I was going to be making this this video. But can you see how media, if you're not careful, will just bombard you with enough stuff to make you feel down? Now, I'm not saying it's not important what's gone on in Wales, but do you know what? You have to filter your environment, because if you don't, it's going to get you down so quickly. Okay, really, really important. Next one, guys, is live in the now, and now's all you got. Discipline your disappointments. You didn't lose the weight you thought you was going to do. You'd set your target thing, you followed the Steve thing, but you still had put on. Don't stress over it. Live in the now. It hasn't happened. All right, discipline it. Then say to yourself, right, I am eating properly. I know I'm eating properly. This is not going to get me all negative, so I'm going to go and eat a burger or chocolate. I'm not going to do it. I am eating well. It's just a blip. And these things do happen, okay? Moving on. One step at a time, as I said earlier, the plans, the chocolate Ken spoke about, very, very important. I'm also doing a lot of this kind of stuff as well. The Fitbit thing, the walking, the 10th. Guys, make this so it's a natural progression for you, that you don't feel that you're losing out by doing this. That's why even the word diet in itself, for me, is laughable, because it makes me feel that when you finish dieting, you're going to go back to normal eating. Yeah? And finally, the last one, guys, is engage with people who have either lost the weight and know all about it and speak positively about it, or someone who's professional at it. Yeah? Someone that does it as a business, someone that knows all about this, because then they will be able to help you. Boom! That's it. Guys, thank you. I hope you found it useful. I've got any shout-outs. I do always write down my shout-outs. Yeah, Les Brown. Les Brown, those that don't know anything about Les Brown, where have you been? This guy is an amazing speaker. What he's doing these live video chat things, and I've got a notification on my phone that whenever he's doing them, he just pops up and he's live for about 20 minutes. This is like Les Brown. I think Les Brown's like 75, 76, something like that, and the guy is still amazing. Why am I saying this? Because I just think you need as much positive in your life. And I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm still listening to him, making sure I keep my levels all the time. The other shout out is, oh yeah, Orange Online Learning. Guys, I've got loads of stuff on the video now, on the channel now. So Orange Online Learning, go to YouTube, Orange Online Learning, loads of videos, a lot of these videos on there as well. It's absolutely amazing, absolutely love it. Boom, I'm done. Guys, thank you so much for your support and your time and just giving it up to listen to me, and I hope you find this stuff useful. Listen, I know it's going to be challenging, all right? I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. It's going to be challenging for all of us, especially as the winter comes or whatever, but we've just got to keep being positive, tuning into those people that are giving those positive messages. Yes, like myself, like Ken Barnes doing what he's doing, but there's loads of motivational people out there to just keep you on track, because that's what you must do. And like I said, it's about us getting not just through this, but getting from it. Guys, thank you so much for your time, and have a great weekend. Take care. Cheers. Bye.